former Netflix CEO. They said, our biggest competitor is sleep.
The battle for human attention in social media, in streaming services. For many of these corporations, they measure their success by user engagement. According to this measurement, 1 hour of outrage is better than 10 minutes of joy, and certainly better than 1 hour of sleep.
Because 1 hour of outrage, I will consume 3 adverts.
Yes.
And then that means that the corporation make $30.
For example.
Yeah.
And from 2 hours of sleep, they make nothing. From 10 minutes of joy, maybe they sell only 1 ad. From the viewpoint of how humans function and how this organism function, 10 minutes of joy are probably better for us than 1 hour of outrage. And certainly we need not just 2 hours, we need 6, 7, 8 hours of sleep.
There's that phrase, isn't there? Ignorance is bliss. Now, something that your work has forced you and continues to encourage you to not live in is ignorance. So with that, one might logically deduce that out the window goes your bliss. Are you happy?
I think I'm relatively happy, at least happier than I was for most of my life. Part of it is that I invest a lot of my time, not just in, researching what is happening in the world, but also in the health of my own mind. And, keeping a kind of balanced information diet. That it's basically like with food. You need food in order to survive and to be healthy. But if you eat too much, or if you eat too much of the wrong stuff, it's bad for you. And it's exactly the same with information. Information is the food of the mind. And if you eat too much of it, of the wrong kind, you'll get a very sick mind. So I try to keep a very balanced information diet, which also includes information fasts. So I try to disconnect. Every day I dedicate 2 hours a day for meditation.
Wow.
And every year I go for a long meditation retreat of between 30 and 60 days, like in completely disconnecting, no phones, no emails, not even books. Just observing myself, observing what is happening inside my body and inside my mind, getting to know myself better, and kind of digesting all the information that I absorbed during the rest of the year or the rest of the day.
Have you seen a clear benefit in doing that?
Yes, very, very clear. I don't think I would be able to write these books or to do what I'm doing without with this kind of information diet and without kind of devoting a lot of time and attention to the balancing my mind and keeping it healthy. So many people spend so much time keeping their body healthy, which is very important, of course, but we need to spend equal amount of attention with our mind. It is as important as our body.
When you said you don't think you'd be able to do what you do if you didn't take these information diets, why?
I'll just, first of all, be just overwhelmed and not have any kind of peace of mind, not have any kind of perspective. If you're constantly in the news cycle, in the information cycle, you lose all perspective. Organic entities, unlike AIs, unlike computers, we are cyclical entities. We need to sleep every day. AIs don't sleep. Even the stock exchange closes. Every afternoon, it closes, also for the weekend, or for Christmas. If you think about it, this is amazing. That, if a war erupts in Christmas, the Wall Street will be able to react only after a couple of days because the people are on holiday. They took time off. Even the money market takes time off. But if you give AI full control, there will never be any time off. It will be 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And people just collapse. I mean, I think part of the problem that politicians today face is that they need to be on 24 hours a day because the news cycle is on 24 hours a day. Like in previous eras, if you're, I don't know, a king in the Middle Ages and you go somewhere, you're on the road in your carriage and nobody can reach you. Even if the French are invading, nobody can reach you. You have some time off. If you're a prime minister now, there is no time off. And computers are built for it, but human brains aren't. If you try to keep an organic entity awake and kind of constantly processing information and reacting 24 hours a day, it will very soon collapse.
It's funny, it made me think of what I think it's the former Netflix CEO, or one of the Netflix CEOs, or someone said, they said, our biggest competitor is sleep.
Sleep, yeah. That's a very scary and very, I think, important line.
And it's a very honest line.
It's a very honest line. And it's scary because if people don't sleep, they collapse and eventually they die. And this is, again, part of the problem that we talked earlier about the battle for human attention in social media, in streaming services. Now, for many of these corporations, they measure their success by user engagement. The more people are engaged, the more successful we are. Now, user engagement is a very broad definition. According to this measurement, 1 hour of outrage is better than 10 minutes of joy, and certainly better than 1 hour of sleep.
Because 1 hour of outrage, I will consume 3 adverts.
Yes.
And then that means that the corporation make $30.
For example.
Yeah.
And from 2 hours of sleep, they make nothing. From 10 minutes of joy, maybe they sell only 1 ad. Mm-hmm. But from the viewpoint of how humans function and how this organism function, 10 minutes of joy are probably better for us than 1 hour of outrage. And certainly we need not just 2 hours, we need 6, 7, 8 hours of sleep.
Well, this is why, the algorithms on certain platforms, specifically TikTok, mm-hmm. are just absolutely addictive, to say the least. Like, because
they hacked us.
Yeah, it's literally, we had, a certain level of addiction to the previous social algorithms. Mm-hmm. And then TikTok came along and said, hold my beer. And they just went for it, and they've won because of that. I see 60-year-olds absolutely addicted to TikTok. And because they don't understand the concept of an algorithm mm-hmm. sometimes, and they don't understand like the advertising model and all of that stuff, it's hypnotism. They're like absolutely hypnotized. Funnily enough, my driver's one of them. So my driver's outside. Whenever I walk up to his car, he's just like this on TikTok. He's scrolling. And I had a conversation with him last night. I'm like, do you realize that TikTok has your brain?
Yeah.
And we're just at the very sort of the first steps of an exponential curve of algorithms competing for our attention in our brain.
We haven't seen anything yet. I mean, these algorithms, they are 10 years old? In terms of, you think about these social media algorithms and the algorithms that get to know you personally, to hack your brain and then grab your attention, they are 10 years old.
And the companies die if they don't beat the other algorithms. So like Twitter now, when Elon took it over, and I think people will relate to this if you use Twitter, suddenly I've seen more people having their heads blown off and being hit by cars on Twitter than I'd ever seen in the previous 10 years. I think someone at Twitter's gone, listen, this company's going to die unless we increase time spent on this platform and show more ads. So let's start serving up a more addictive algorithm. And that requires a response from Instagram and the other platforms. So it's a real...
And Elon has this other company, the Boring Company.
Yeah.
Which is about boring tunnels, of course. But actually, it might be a good idea to make Twitter more boring and to make TikTok more boring. I mean, I know it's a very bad business decision.
Yeah.
But I don't think humanity will survive unless we have more boredom. If you ask me what is wrong with the world in 2023, is that everybody is far too excited. And I mean, if I had to kind of summarize what's wrong in one word, the word is excited. And people don't understand the meaning of this word. People think that excited means happy. Like two people meet, I am so excited to meet you. I have a new idea, I publish a new book, whatever. Oh, this is such an exciting idea, such an exciting book. And exciting isn't happy. Exciting isn't always good. Sometimes, yes, sometimes it's good to be excited. An organism that is excited all the time dies. The meaning of excitement is that, the body is in flight or fight mode. All the nerves are on, all the neurons are firing, all the muscles are tense. This is excitement. And very often negative things excite us. Fear is excitement. Hate is excitement. Anger is excitement. And, it's when I meet a good friend, I'm often relaxed to meet the friend, not excited. And on a much you think about the political level, we have far too many exciting politicians doing very exciting things. And we need more boring politicians.
More Bidens.
That do less exciting things.
But the brain is wired to pay attention to excitement and to crave it. Yeah.
But the brain evolved in situations when you didn't have a constant stream of exciting videos. Sometimes it was on, sometimes it was off. And now our brains have been hacked. And these devices, technologies, they know how to create constant excitement. And the more this happens, we also lose our ability, our skill to be bored. That if we have to spend a few minutes doing nothing, somewhere waiting, we can't do it. We immediately take out the smartphone and start watching TikTok or scrolling through Twitter or whatever.
Did you hear about that experiment where people would rather take an electric shock than do nothing?
Yeah. And, you can't get, for instance, to any level of peace of mind if you don't know how to handle boredom. That peace and boredom are the same way that excitement and outrage are neighbors. Peace and boredom are also neighbors. And if you don't know how to handle boredom, if the minute there is a hint of boredom, you run away to some exciting thing, you will never experience peace of mind. And people, if humans don't experience peace of mind, there is no way that the world as a whole is going to be peaceful.